22 Feet Academy TV. Powered by SUV TV. Sponsored by Muscle Milk, the official protein recovery drink of 22 Feet Academy. Denny's, welcome to America's Diner. Under Armour, protect this house. And the Imagine Center, Health and Fitness Club, the official venue of 22 Feet Academy.
And ladies and gentlemen, welcome back here to the beautiful Imagine Center, home of 22 Feet Academy basketball, as we get ready to bring you what should be a very intriguing matchup. Weather conditions, the warnings are in play. But for right now, we've got a dry ground outside, and I've got Anton Bennett here with me courtside. 22 Feet versus Evelyn Mack Academy. Anton, appreciate you joining me here for this one tonight.
I love to be here, man. Appreciate the invite.
This is going to be a good matchup regardless of some of the, the context or the backstory, for lack of a better word. A few months back, both of these teams went at it in the 22 Feet Academy Hoops tip-off, and it was Evelyn Academy coming out with an overtime thriller victory. Jordan Bowden looks like he's on a mission to make sure that doesn't happen tonight.
Exactly right. Comes out stroking deep for the three.
That's such a long time ago when you look at the course of a season. These two teams are not the same teams. You're usually never the same team in January as you were in November, even if it's the same players, the focus, the rhythm. Everything should be going on all cylinders in terms of you developing over the course of a season. And I look forward to seeing this particular phase of each team go at it here tonight.
Exactly right. With the 22 Feet Academy team, they seem to come out trying to be on full cylinders right now.
As Eli Wright gets the three-point play the hard way and gets the bounce. One of the questions that I had coming into this game, this is an upset of Oak Hill and several national tournaments later for 22 Feet Academy. Would there still be some remnants of that loss to Evelyn Mack? That was a question I had in my mind. I think you could see with the pep in the step and just the body language that they haven't forgotten about that November loss.
Exactly right. Exactly right. And I don't know where that game was played at, but, being home should be able to help them out a good bit.
And that's what adds to the flavor of the matchup. It was right here on this very court where Evelyn Mack Academy was able to pull that off. You look at the Evelyn Mack Academy side, they play a national schedule as well. So, they've had additional challenges and, proved to be a battle-tested team also. So I don't expect either team to back down. Should be a good finish. But right now, we appreciate you joining us for the start. That bucket scored on the inside. That is number 20, Kim White.
Yeah, he was a late addition to the starting lineup.
They say if you stay ready, you don't got to get ready.
Exactly right.
We see Darius Hicks brace himself for that one. He's going to go to the free throw line.
Yeah, they're getting the ball inside pretty easy right now against Evelyn Mack.
That earlier matchup that we talked about, it was really 22 Feet Academy that led for the majority of the game, but they failed to close out Evelyn Mack Academy. I think one of the things you'll want to watch for, Coach Greg Primus' team doesn't want to get down too much here and expect the same Damari Paris and overall team heroics that they were able to get last year. I think they'll try to make sure that any deficit that they have is as manageable as possible, if one at all.
You're exactly right on that. So right now, this 2-3 zone has Evelyn Mack a little startup right now.
You're going to see two Providence commits, not commits. I'm sure the Friars would love for them to be commits eventually, but two prospects in Isaiah Whalen and Darius Hicks. Number 21 for 22 Feet and number 12. The aforementioned Whalen working hard on the offensive glass. Leaves that one short, though. Hicks comes away with the rebound. We've got an 8-2 ball game. That'll be a 2 if it goes. Good. Maybe not the most orthodox shot when you look at that because it's the deepest 2 you can get. Some people would call that a bad shot, but, hey, if it's money, it's money.
Yeah, a bucket's a bucket, but it is a bad shot.
I'm a fan of the mid-range myself. That's taking it beyond the mid-range. That's saying, you know what, I'm going to take it from 3 depth. I just only want 2 for it.
Exactly right. Stop and pop.
But Henderson still makes it a 10-2 ball game, 8-point advantage for 22 Feet. Hicks at the top of the key. That's Malik Lou Mitchell, the Toronto, Canada native, very instrumental in that game earlier that we talked about. You can't leave Bowden wide open. Luckily, that one kicks off the back of the rim. Henderson, the offensive rebound. And finally, it's tipped to Damari Paris. Paris weaves through two defenders, has it stripped away by Bowden. And looks like it will stay with Evelyn Mack Academy.
That's one thing with that offensive rebound just now. Evelyn Mack's playing that 2-3 zone. It's hard to find a man to box out when you're in that zone. You have to look around, find somebody to box out.
We'll have a
trip call.
Trip call there is going to leave it with Evelyn Mack. When you talk about Damari Paris, a player that labeled as underrated by a lot of people that actually, got a chance to see him play and kind of knew the potential. And I think he's done a great job this season of showcasing why some people make that claim. As he'll try a three-pointer.
Good stroke.
So Paris makes it 10-5, 5-point game. You saw 22 feet come off to a pretty good start, and you wonder if Evelyn Mack, how long it would take them to get the cobwebs off there. Different weather than when they came in here in October. We've got what we like to call the hawk outside now, man.
Yes, sir. I'd like to see Big Keita go up for those rebounds, man. He attacks the board. Couldn't handle the ball just now.
Stepping in, taking the charge is Darius Hicks. As it will go the other way, we'll have a couple substitutions for 22 feet. Checking in number 22, Justin Miller, and number 11, Tristan Hunter. In my opinion, Hunter, the best defender on this 22 feet Academy squad. Don't pigeonhole him just to the defensive side, but I love his energy and what he brings to the table in terms of trying to lock down there for 22 feet on the defensive end.
Good ball movement. Almost caught on one there with Hicks.
The hops will always be there. He lost the handle there on that one, and we all got robbed of a potential SC top 10 play.
Yes, sir. But I seen Tristan Hunter use his defensive skills just now, get a jump ball called.
Lou Mitchell, guarded by Bowden. That's a matchup. That'll be a good one to watch. Bowden was still getting loose there in that October matchup. Since then, he's really blossomed into a great resource on the offensive end for 22 Feet Academy. Picked up an offer from Utah while at an event about a month ago, and that'll be the first of what should be multiple Division I offers for Jordan Bowden there in number 1 for 22 feet as Eli Wright gets called for the offensive foul.
Timeout called.
So we've got a timeout. We're going to take one with them here in Greenville. 22 Feet Academy leading by 5 over Evelyn Mack. We'll be back after this quick break. Back out of the timeout and ready to resume play here live from the Imagine Center. Waylon has it. Get it to Lou Mitchell. Lou Mitchell over to Paris. He's already got one three-pointer. Opts not to take that one. Paris got the first step. Floater, no good. Tipped around. And that's going to be last touch there by number 3, Kwame Nelson.
A couple more jump ups I seen from Kwame Nelson. You know, another almost SC top 10.
Nelson, a player with good size. Up, Eli Wright.
Set up perfectly on the backdoor string.
And he caught it on the 6th floor. One hand was on the 6th floor. He brought it up to the 8th where he was at. And still had enough time to be able to finish. Nelson tries to answer back. Wright with the rebound. And the thing about Wright, he was a part of that game where Evelyn Mack defeated them earlier in the season, but foul trouble, I got to be honest, man, I don't know what, the refs had something against, Eli Wright in that tip-off classic. He stayed in foul trouble, and of course I say that tongue-in-cheek. I don't think they really had vendettas. I just think that their calls against him, the fella barely got to play there, so I think he's coming out with a little extra motivation. He's already off to a pretty good start. We got a quick break in the action, so while the officials take a little while to throw the ball in, we might as well take a look at an instant replay. You see this one developing nicely.
Nice.
Beautiful when the thing comes together. Bout into Eli Wright. That matchup has definitely paid dividends as the season has went along.
Exactly right.
Contested two-pointer there.
Out on the break.
Goaltending going to be called there. That'll make it 12-7.
Good intensity in here, though. Good drive. Jordan Bowden.
So we've got a 7-14 game. Three-pointer on the way. Ice cream splashing that one from the outside. That's number 13, Jordan Ruth.
Jordan Ruth came in off the bench ready to stroke him.
That one's off the mark. The speedy Elvis De La Rosa with the ball. Hesitates for a second. Has that one blocked out of bounds.
Yeah. I think at that point that he got down with the trees, go ahead and back that out. That set up some offense there. We still got the ball here for offense.
Checking in. We saw a three-pointer splashed about a possession ago for Evelyn Mack Academy. Tucker Campbell, number 20 for 22 feet, is checked into the game. He's very fond of the three-point line himself. A very good shooter for 22 feet as he steps into that one.
Oh!
Case in point. His ears must be burning.
Touched every bit of the rim there, buddy. Shooter's touch.
Nelson over to Whalen. Whalen, no good there along the baseline. Fighting for the rebound is Nelson. A power dribble. Brings it down low. His body's all over the floor trying to get to it. Love Whalen's length and the way he attacks the glass. Made a cardinal mistake there, though, bringing that ball down below his waist. Tristan Hunter's not going to let you really bring that above the waist once you bring it down there.
You're right about that. You can't bring it down to the little people.
As Whalen is going to have a seat checking into the game for Evelyn Mack Academy, it will be number 10. That's Bartu Het. 7-point advantage for 22 feet.
Good pass. Gotta be ready for that pass. Good box out. Push the tempo straight to the rim. That's your guy Tristan Hunter, defensive special.
Hunter, he doesn't mind locking down, but, you know, knows how to get in where he fits in on the offensive end as well.
Hey.
One of the things I like about Hunter, he's the type of player, he's really going to take defense personally. You know, he doesn't like seeing anybody eat at all you know, when it comes to the offensive side of things. So really like him being one of those players that's always accountable. If a guy's hot or trying to get there, he wants that assignment.
Drop step baseline. Fundamental basketball, buddy.
Justin Miller with the nice footwork, one of a couple Bluegrass State natives on this roster, along with Eli Wright. Tristan Hunter is going to have a seat. And Henderson checks into the game. I think you can see with some of these early substitution patterns, both coaches kind of realizing the type of game that it's going to be. You want to make sure you get your Damari Parrises, your Darius Hendersons, your Luke Mitchells, your Malik Lou Mitchells. Get those guys some rest for those crunch minutes down the stretch as Waylon uses that long wingspan over the outstretched arm of Justin Miller to score it. Henderson, pass intended for Campbell. Ziegler gets there, but a little too late. Campbell bounced past to Miller. Miller wanted the foul there. He doesn't get it, sticks with it, and now he'll go back to the strike.
He stayed with the shot.
Ten-point game. Justin Miller with an opportunity to push the advantage to 12 points here as we approach the halfway mark in the first half.
Soft touch on the free throw.
Had a chance to broadcast 22 feet at the 14th annual Flying to the Hoop Invitational there in Dayton. You know, you talked about 5. You mentioned it there in pre-production. 5 McDonald's All-American nominees from this 22 Feet Academy squad. They had a few players that were actually able to make that vaunted list there on site of the Flying to the Hoop Invitational. 22 Feet came away with the victory over Hilliard Bradley there in that event.
Yep.
Footnote for that event, as cold as it is outside here, I'm appreciating it because at least it's double digits. We had single-digit temperatures there in Dayton, Ohio for those 4 days we were there.
Wow. That's cold.
Bowden inside to Miller. Miller trying to make the best out of a situation, kind of, you know, was really looking to possibly get that ball back out to the wing to Campbell. Got caught in a tough position. Rather than risk a turnover, kind of took an awkward shot, tried to go get it. Waylon was having none of the sort. So Miller will have a seat. C.D. Cater will check into the game. You guys having some common ground there, you being a Columbia, South Carolina native, and Cater committed to Coach Frank Martin and the Gamecocks there in Cola.
Yeah, he'll be coming down to the city, to the metro.
And you talk about patience being a virtue. You know, you had people that were ready to run Frank Martin out of town, not smart people anyway.
Exactly.
Those that were impatient. Now you look at what Sindarius Thornwell and the Gamecocks are doing with just 1 loss on the season.
You're exactly right. You know, it's all about patience, just like with Dawn Staley with the women's team. They had to give her patience, and now it has one of the premier teams in women's basketball.
It's paying dividends. Henderson.
Good lay.
3 blue jerseys around him. He finds a way to squeeze it in.
Gotta learn how to finish.
Quamaine Nelson gonna kick it out to the corner. 3-pointer, money. That's number 13, Jordan Ruth, his second 3-pointer of the matchup. Oh, that was 15. My apologies. That's Kamara Fold. No excuses, but if you were to kind of see these Evelyn Mack jerseys in person, they are spiffy. I give them credit,
yes,
but
sir.
You got to do a double take on the numbers sometimes. So definitely want to give credit to Kamara for that triple that he knocked down. He made it an 11-point game. As Henderson will direct traffic up top, over to Campbell. Henderson, they must not believe him there in the corner. They gave him a good amount of space there.
Yeah, left him wide open. You know, some coaches say you wide open for a reason.
Waylon back to fold. Skip pass. Another 3-pointer on the way. Off the mark. Jordan Bowden gets the rebound.
Evelyn Mack's starting to live and die by that 3-point ball. You know, they haven't had much success under the basket, so starting to live and die by that 3-ball.
It can get you back into it, but it can also
shoot you out.
All right, allow that gap to increase. The 3-ball was very good for Malik Lou Mitchell down the stretch in their earlier contest this year, as they were really able. He had a stretch where he hit a minimum of 3 back-to-back 3-pointers. But I'm sure if you're Coach Greg Primus and Evelyn Mack, you don't want to have that same narrow margin for error in the second half as you try to come back. You'd like to be able to chop this thing down in half. Cookies taken. Paris coming the other way. Challenged by Tucker Campbell. No foul call. Power dribble inside. We heard the smack all the way over here. It didn't matter. Is that one scored there? That's number 13. Now that's Jordan Ruth. He says, don't get me mixed up with anybody again. You see him really attack the glass. The power dribble to gather himself. Bowden with the swipe. Excuse me, I got somewhere to be. He's at the free throw line with a chance to get the back end here on the.
Now, one thing I can say about that possession that 22 feet just had, they probably had the ball for over 40 seconds there. Shot clock is needed. It wouldn't have been a turnover if his shot clock was in play. You know.
Eli Wright and Darius Hicks are checked back into the game. They go up top to Hicks. He's due.
He is due.
He's due for a dunk. I mean, he's had two that he sort of mishandled, and that's not a knock to him. He's trying to make great plays. Meanwhile, Damari Paris is staying on the ground and knocks down his second triple.
Just like that. 5-point game.
5-point game. We have a timeout. Damari Paris sends us out with his second triple of the first half. He feels very comfortable in the Imagine Center trying to imagine a win and bring it to fruition here in Greenville. We'll be back after this quick break.
This pairing of pumpkin pancakes and pecan pie is pure perfection, pleasing my palate like a pro-level pumpkin pecan pie party. And the price? Perfectly puny.
Denny's new pumpkin pecan pie pancakes, just $4.99. Denny's, welcome to America's Diner.
Coming out of the timeout, we've got a 5-point game. It's been a lead for 22 feet for the majority of the first half up to this point. Had pushed it out to double digits. They're in the low double digits. Nothing for Evelyn Mack to panic on, and they definitely didn't. A Damari Paris three-pointer and a Jordan Ruth three-point play the hard way later. They're within 5. Eli Wright trying to get back going. Was on the bench for a few minutes, but still feeling good, feeling great as he knocks down the triple.
That's one thing. You always want to get a good positive play out of the timeout. You want to have a positive play. That was a good positive set they had there.
That's right. The Mississippi State commit knocks that down. Coming right back at him is number 24. That's Darius Webster. Webster makes it 24-29. Miller's going to try a three of his own. Bowden with the offensive rebound, and that is Jermaine Remy.
They could have lived without the first shot. Evelyn Mack has to bounce out, though.
It's a must-have. You look at both of these squads, the personnel, they're going to make you pay. Ruth will be called for the travel there. You can tell in his mind he had one move set up, trying to be aggressive there on the catch. Footwork a little too quick for his own good as he's called for the travel. Tristan Hunter checks back into the game for 22 feet. Working along the baseline. There is Wright. Comes back in and flips it up with the left.
Lefty. Good job.
They say lefties are hard to guard, man. You got to be able. I see a ton of times where John Aguchi from Green Forest Christian, we were able to see at a Chick-fil-A Classic. He always ends up getting a clutch bucket down the stretch because people forget that he's left-handed and they end up giving him his strong hand.
Exactly.
Meanwhile, that's another triple there for Fold, Kamara Fold.
Big rebound.
Miller not happy with the call. We've got a 6-point game.
Yeah, like you say, live and die by the 3.
And so far, Fold says, what a time.
Yes, sir.
To be alive. He's living there as he knocks down another triple, his third of the first half.
Yeah, they need to find this guy now.
and tall and long enough to where you really got to be in his face. I mean, he's
setting up behind the three-point line.
Yeah, I mean, unless you're coming out with that Darius Hicks type of, vertical, it's going to be very hard to really bother his three-point shot if you're coming out on the closeout.
Exactly.
Paris, hand in face, off the back of the rim, tipped out. They'll get another opportunity.
With the mid-range.
Like what we're seeing from the young fella.
Yes, sir.
I'm not just a three ball. I can use my ability to hit that. You close out, holla at you. You knock down the mid-range to make it a 4-point game.
Good pump, fake, and dribble.
Pass to Bowden. Bowden, he misses. Tristan Hunter there with the follow-up. Bowden has been relatively quiet since that three-pointer early. Hasn't forced things. But I think he's drawn more attention from Evelyn Mack, and they've done a good job of minimizing them up to this point. Now you look at the offers that are held by multiple players on each squad. Mention that we have two guys that have been offered by Providence and Darius Hicks, as well as Isaiah Whalen for Evelyn Mack Academy. Pull up some of the other offers. Whaley, aside from Providence, Charlotte, Appalachian State, Georgia, Western Carolina, Virginia Tech, some of the other squads in play. Damari Paris offers from Fordham and Newberry. He's garnering some interest from Oregon and Oakland as well.
Cool.
And those are just a couple guys. If we were to list all of the schools that are interested in the services of these players, it could take up the next few minutes as we go into halftime. So we'll get back to that at different points throughout the game. Last touch by 22 feet, so it will stay with Evelyn Mack Academy within 6 points, 4 minutes, 23 seconds remaining here in the first half. Whalen, he'll face up, jumper. Long rebound brought down by Hunter. He's got Bowden running with him. Gets on the good foot wraparound pass, but called for the double dribble.
Yep, got a little bit out of control there.
You saw the attention that Damari Paris is drawing from Tristan Hunter. They were inbounding that ball, and Hunter wouldn't even let the Evelyn Mack player sort of stand right next to Paris.
Exactly.
Doesn't want to give him any space, wants to try to make him as uncomfortable as possible, given how cool of a customer he is on the court. His second three-pointer of the first half for Darius Webster.
Yes, sir. These guys come out stroking. Trey ball has kept them in the game.
They have pulled to within 3. Nice defense there on that shot by Eli Wright. Evelyn Mack looking to push. Too strong on the layup attempt. Now 22 feet Academy has numbers. Seeing guy pass ahead, getting it back. Hunter too strong initially, but Jermaine Remy finishes what he helped start.
I think the thing that's keeping 22 feet with this lead is the second chance points, man.
Yeah.
A lot of putbacks, a lot of missed blockouts.
And even some of the rebounds that Evelyn Mack has gotten, it really just happened to, they got a lucky bounce or they were able to, come away with it. But you still see more white jerseys around that glass on that side of the court than you do for Evelyn Mack. I'm sure Coach Primus will address that there in the halftime here at the Imagine Center.
That has to be priority now at halftime. Has to. Oh, bad pass.
Stolen by Bowden, and he will lay it in.
Pretty good move, defensive play there also without fouling, even going for the steal.
Love to see teams that can defend and make things tough without fouling.
Exactly.
I mean, fouling is a part of the game. It's going to be there when used appropriately, but everybody hates being at those games to where there's no sort of discretion or acumen when it comes to the defensive end, as Eli Wright fouled on the reverse attempt.
It looked like 22 feet is back in the attack mode. I think that last time out they want to get back to attack mode.
And you make it real easy to attack, and that was just, that's Christmas in January for Bowden. That's just way too easy. 8-point game. Eli Wright at the line, checking back in for action. Quamaine Nelson having a seat. Will be Darius Webster. Quamaine Nelson averaging 15 points, 11 rebounds per game. For Evelyn Mack, the 6'8" class of 2017 prospect.
Full court press set here by 22 feet.
Getting his best safety impression on there was Jordan Bowden. He says it was off of Paris. We have the value of instant replay, unlike the officials. Let's take a look to see if Bowden was right.
I think he was right there.
Think he was. But Paris, nice job of keeping it moving.
Yes, sir.
But that was Nelson has to watch those passes. That was more like a Peyton Manning pass instead of a Tom Brady pass. You know,
You're right.
Got to put a little bit more zip on it.
You're right.
That could be a tough matchup there. I mean, I just, you know, Peyton, you know, I'm from Indiana originally, a lot of years with the coach. Peyton, I'm pulling for you, but, you know, Belichick is tough to beat even when you're at full strength with your arm.
Yeah, he got a rubber band on right now, man.
Yeah, man, Peyton's throwing a lot of rubber duckies. But we shall see. Meanwhile, great matchup here, intense 9-point game, 22 Feet Academy with the advantage. Hunter floats it up off the glass.
Smart play. Mr. Hunter.
Taking full advantage of that Imagine Center window here on the main court. Pass, that's going to be broken up. 4 white jerseys running on the break. Up top to Eli Wright.
Another steal.
See how 22 Feet Academy finishes. Bowden for 3. This place was ready to erupt had he knocked that one down. The lead back out to 13. Here's Paris. Paris drops it off to Whalen, left it a little behind him.
Careless basketball here now. How the careless basketball by Mack.
They had cut the lead down to as low as 3 points, and just like that, it has ballooned out to 13 points.
That's without the 3-ball.
Yep. Cada gets it to Bowden. Bowden over to Wright. Wright for 3. Yes, sir. Eli Wright.
Pretty easy there, buddy.
Man, the price has been right for him here in this first half. He's already in double digits. Getting it done in a variety of ways. Into Whalen. Whalen able to get that one in. We'll call that a lunk. I'm not sure whether it was a dunk or a layup. Well, I know he kind of touched the rim. Call it whatever you want to call it. It's worth 2 points.
Yes, sir. A lunk. I'm going to use that one.
Now out to Bowden. 14-point game. Step back. That one.
Oh,
good, Darius Hicks. We said he was due.
He's due. Imagine Center Rims are getting a lot of work right now, buddy.
That they are. 16-point advantage.
I can tell you one thing, that was not a lunk.
No, it wasn't.
That was the pure definition of a dunk.
No kidding. 16-point game, 21.9 seconds left. If you're Evelyn Mack, obviously you can't get it all back. There's no rock and jock 15-point shot, but you can end the half on a positive note by scoring it. Because Bowden, he just gets to 2, but, you know, for those of us that are just spectators, Bowden wants to get his dunk on, too. He had to settle for the layup. They get another steal. 22 feet trying to finish. Cada has it stripped away. Sticks with it. And that will do it for the first half. And if you are Evelyn Mack Academy, you kind of can't get back to that locker room fast enough. Try to regroup because things got sort of ugly towards the end of it. We're right next to an airport here in Greenville, and I'm very surprised that we're not having complaints with the way that Hicks and Eli Wright are flying all over the airspace at this point.
You're exactly right about that, buddy.
Don't go anywhere. 22 Feet Academy having their way with Evelyn Mack so far, but we know it would be a good second half. We'll be back here on SUV TV.
22 Feet Academy TV. Powered by SUV TV. Sponsored by Muscle Milk, the official protein recovery drink of 22 Feet Academy. Denny's, welcome to America's Diner. Under Armour, protect this house. And the Imagine Center, Health and Fitness Club, the official venue of 22 Feet Academy.
The feeling of the perfect shot feels effortless to me. Right when I release that shot, it just feels serene and quiet. It's only me and the rim and the basketball. With my height, to have an impact and to be the player that I wanted to be, I needed to change my shot, and that was going to be something that would be beneficial for the long term. The process started just breaking my shot down from the initial release to the follow-through. And there were days that I couldn't even get the ball to the rim. There were days that I couldn't go outside of the paint area. It was very frustrating to not be able to shoot the way I wanted to. The hardest part of that process was definitely the patience. But if I just stuck to getting better every day, eventually I would be able to shoot where I wanted to, anywhere on the floor. I went through some tough days, but found a way to just persevere and see it through. It starts with a great base and great foundation. It allows everything to feel perfect. I can do all things.
Welcome back to Greenville, South Carolina. Marcus Burnett joined by Anton Bennon as we get ready to get the second half started here at 22 Feet Academy. The home team is definitely holding their serve, relatively speaking, here in this one, up by 20 as we get ready to start the second half. Man, what a first half there for 22 Feet.
Oh, yeah, man. The last good 4 minutes,
Yeah.
they turned the defense pressure up, and Evelyn Mack had no answer for it. You know, when I'm looking at the Evelyn Mack uniforms, you have lightning strikes. You got lightning strikes, so I think it might be lightning in the bottle.
We'll see if they can pull it out. That's lightning in a bottle is an accurate way to describe Damari Paris. He can get it done. They are going to need the type of leadership and production that he shows on a regular basis. They're definitely going to need it here in this one. But I think one of the things that, Coach Primus and his squad noticed there, you did have a great finish to that half by 22 Feet, but some of those things were self-inflicted. When you look at Evelyn Mack Academy, they were relatively lethargic when it comes to the offensive and the defensive glass, pretty careless with the ball. We look at that Bowden steal that we saw there on the replay, and I mean, it was just gift wrapped, So I think they're going to come and make sure 22 Feet beats them in this second half if they beat them, and not Evelyn Mack sort of helping that cause.
Exactly.
Offensive rebound, and Quamaine Nelson, as we're already seeing a little bit more pep in the step of Evelyn Mack Academy. Coach Schmidt sees it as well, so he's going to get a timeout, try to nip this thing in the bud early on.
And that's 2 offensive rebounds there for Evelyn Mack. Kind of flip-flopping what happened in the first half.
As they pulled to within 16, we didn't get a chance to look at this one in the first half, but we look at the Denny's instant replay. Talked about Eli Wright having a very good first half. He ended up having 19 points there in that first half. We saw his dunks, but able to knock that one down from outside as well. And then last one before we get to the action. I'm sure we'll have plenty of second half replays, but we showed Darius Hicks and his 2-hand slam. It's Eli Wright. He had a dunk at a flying to the hoop the other day where that was just, it was just one of those take that with you dunks. They kind of had the game in hand.
Exactly.
They were already winning, a couple minutes left. So, just a little something for the bus ride home for the opposing squad. But we are out of the timeout. Evelyn Mack with a good start here to this second half. They pull it to within 16. They get the steal. Nobody yelled wolf as Remy came away with the back tap. Bowden lost the handle, tried to regain it in the air. Remy sticks with it. Again, 22 Feet just being relentless there on the offensive glass.
4 white shirts, 2 blue shirts. White's going to win that.
You saw Bowden just attacking there. He had a couple instances where he lost the handle, but just stuck with it, refused to be denied. Eli Wright can't get the reverse to go. Damari Paris gets it to Waylon. Waylon goes up and is fouled. So Isaiah Waylon heading to the free throw line.
That was a good push by Damari Paris. Just getting the ball into the paint, making the defense commit to him, dishing off to Waylon for the foul.
Talked about Waylon's offers, mentioned Providence, Charlotte, and Appalachian State. Also Western Carolina, Towson, East Carolina, Middle Tennessee State, South Carolina State, Nevada, and Central Florida showing interest in the 6'9" player. He's averaging 18 points, 13 boards, and 6 blocks per game. They will need some blocks, some rim protection, and really just some straight-out grit here in this second half as they've already spotted 22 Feet Academy a nice cushion. Right.
Hand down, man down.
I don't think he's touched the rim. Outside of those dunks, I don't think he's touched the rim all night.
You're exactly right.
That's that. I'm not sure if our viewers at home can hear that swish and how it sounds, man. It sounds like a bucket of fries hitting the pot, man.
You know it. Coming off hot.
He makes it a 19-point game, but for those that have seen Evelyn Mack Academy play before, you know the talent level you're dealing with. They're also well coached by Coach Greg Primus. They don't really panic. They play their game. You know that a run is coming. The question is, have they waited too late to initiate it? You know, because 22 feet has that cushion to where, you know, let's say there is, you know, a 10-0 run or one of these Evelyn Mack Academy runs that you can expect from this squad. They've got enough of a buffer to be able to regroup and make sure that that gap isn't closed all of the way. So should make for an interesting dynamic here in the second half, as Evelyn Mack has already come out showing that it's not going to be the way things were in the first half. Still have to do a better job boxing out on the defensive end. Risky pass there by Nelson. Have to minimize the turnovers.
Got to minimize that.
From almost the same spot as he shot the last one, Eli Wright with another.
Another one doesn't touch the rim.
I'm a righty myself, but I can admit, man, with a jumper like that, it always looks a little bit better with the lefty shooting it, man. I'm not sure why. I don't know why that's the case, man, but
it's the flick of the wrist.
Eli Wright flicking it plenty here, pushes the advantage back out to 21 points.
Yep. With Evelyn Mack, you got to make every possession count. Every possession has to count. You got to get something positive on every possession right now for this second half.
That's a must. 16 minutes, 45 seconds remaining here in the second half. And, you know, you look at that is plenty of time, but it's not as much time as it seems like, relatively speaking, when you look at 22 feet having the advantage. You know, not really having to be in a rush, but also, you know, it's a little bit easier to be able to shoot when you're up by the amount that they're up. It's not the same level of pressure. Everybody's just kind of loosey-goosey out there.
Exactly. The rim opens up a little bit wider.
If you're Evelyn Mack, you have to do something to adjust this 22 feet academy comfort level. Yes, they are at home, but you have to make the sound and the feel of this place a little bit closer to what it was when you picked up the victory here at the end of October. They work it inside to Miller. Miller, good.
That's too easy. Like a big guy that size, you want to go ahead and try to get that foot in front. Your foot and hand in front of the ball.
Paris to Nelson. Nelson got tripped up with Miller. And it'll go the other way. Right up top to Bowden. Here's Hunter. Hunter might have gotten away with the travel there.
Might have.
Everybody takes a second, get that wet spot up there. That's always time well spent. You don't want to rush through those wet spots. It's the last thing you want to do as a player, having their leg going opposite directions because they hit that wet spot at the wrong time. I've seen players get injured as a result of that. So
exactly right, like black ice.
My question for Evelyn Mack is who makes the pivotal play or sequence of plays that picks their energy level up a little bit and gives them something that they can feed off of. You know, you look at a couple of the times where they turn the ball over or certain things haven't with their way, and you can kind of see, I won't say their heads are down in terms of giving up, but you can see through their body language that it's just taking a while to get things going in the opposite direction.
You're right. You know, like I said before, you know, every possession needs to have something positive. You want to try to attack the rim like right here. That's a positive play. You know.
Sandy Ziegler, 9 points, 9 and 5 assists per game.
But you can't get it back up to him that easy. You can't trade baskets.
Cannot do it. Ziegler trying to get their last 5 points. And I was just going to give you the caveat that he averages 9 points per game and 5 assists, but you know, don't let those numbers fool you. Even though you got players like Paris, you know, Quamaine Nelson, Malik Lou Mitchell, Don't let Ziegler's stats, you know, minimize what he can do in terms of scoring the ball.
Exactly. He was just a pest on him there.
As Tristan Hunter going to get called for the offensive foul, and that could be, you know, to me, that's just a savvy play. Whatever you can do to get it in your favor now, you kind of see the arm extended there.
Oh, yeah.
As De La Rosa, he sold it. That ball partially tipped by Eli Wright.
Yeah, I think he could have lived with something else there.
Yeah. Blocking foul going to go against Evelyn Mack Academy there. Jordan Ruth disagrees with the call, and I can't say I disagree with this claim. Didn't really look like much of a foul there, but the official saw otherwise, so that will go against 22 feet. Still a 20-point game as we approach the 14-minute mark. Cookies, De La Rosa, there's no catching up to him once he gets ahead.
Positive plays, positive plays.
I'd love to see De La Rosa's 40 time. So we talk about individual guys being able to make things happen. You saw Ziegler get 5 straight points for him. You saw De La Rosa, even though they couldn't convert and get points on that offensive foul that he was able to draw. You know, you still see them trying to do things here and there to reverse the momentum. Could have used that one. It wouldn't stay down. De La Rosa trying to get Henderson to give it up. Mission accomplished. Lays that one in, and it looks like Henderson is a little shaken up. Can't tell whether he's grabbing his leg or if it's his wrist or arm that he's favoring. Not sure what he came down on there.
Yeah, not sure on it either.
Darius Henderson in obvious pain. Evelyn Mack has pulled to within 16 there off the turnover and the layup by De La Rosa.
Well, one of the biggest things, you know, when you're trying to get that comeback, you want to get single digits as soon as you can.
Hunter with the reverse.
Nice.
So that response was needed there for 22 feet. They were up by 16, but you see more life coming there for Evelyn Mack. So after that Hunter bucket, Evelyn Mack Academy follows it with a turnover. Now they'll go inside to Miller. Miller called for the travel. Isaiah Whalen has been on the bench for the past few minutes. For Evelyn Mack Academy, Coach Primus maybe partially saving him for the stretch run, but also going with the lineup that he think works best. I'll tell you what, I think Andy Ziegler needs to be on as much as possible over the next few minutes. He's trying to develop the hot hand. It's lukewarm now. Actually, it's above lukewarm.
Yes, sir.
I won't say he's NBA Jam on fire just yet, but trying to get there. Again, you're letting 22 feet get too many opportunities on the offensive glass.
Unforced turnover.
Wright misses the layup.
This is their chance to attack here.
Paris wraps around, gets it to Ruth, who lays it in. So Evelyn Mack Academy has cut the deficit to 13 points. Wright trying to answer. That's his first three-point miss in quite a while. Ziegler with the rebound. He'll push it. Drops it off. That one's left short. Bowden pulls it out of there.
I think he held on that ball a little too long.
They're going to say that one was on the floor.
Got a couple more divisions to go before you can get that.
Yeah. That would have been some serious continuation, but.
Yes, sir.
But Evelyn Mack Academy trying to climb back into this one. Andy Ziegler, this one's that's easily NBA range. Nearly shot that from the Greenville Chamber of Commerce sign as he splashes it. Ziegler with 8 second-half points as they pull it to within 13. Via the Denny's instant replay. Hunter, no good. Remy, too strong. They've got Ruth running ahead. He gets behind the defense, lost the handle temporarily. And he's going to be fouled. Getting back and helping was Remy. That's going to send Jordan Ruth to the free throw line. Ruth, the Charlotte, North Carolina native.
Some kind of way Ruth needs to make that shot, though.
Yeah.
He needs to make that layup. Some kind of way. If they want to get this game back in contention.
When you have a guard core that includes a Damari Paris, a Ziegler, a Malik Lou Mitchell, those types of players, you're going to get some opportunities. The question is, are you going to be able to finish them? And I think if you're Evelyn Mack, you got to be able to either come away with a made bucket or go to the line and knock down your free throws. So Andrew Ziegler is going to come out for Malik Lou Mitchell. Here's Hicks. Hicks trying to work on Ruth. Foul going to go against Evelyn Mack, Jordan Ruth.
From that drive, it looked like Hicks can do that anytime he wants. Looks like he can get to any spot he wants to right now.
But you can see some of that frustration there on the Evelyn Mack Academy side, because for the most part, they did a pretty good job defending him in terms of he had already established that position and got to his spot. But he had a tough shot. He had to essentially elevate and float it up there off of straight vertical. So, I mean, it's a shot that's not very far out, but I think it's a shot that is the lesser of two evils for you versus an Eli Wright versus a Bowden or Justin Miller being on the block. So, if you're Coach Primus, you can live with that shot, but what you don't want to do is have a tough foul like that called and send them to the free throw line. As Hicks gets the rebound there, tries to hand it off to Bowden. Bowden gets it successfully. He'll try for three. Can't get it to go. Tipped around. And it'll be knocked out of bounds. Last touched by Kamara Fold for Evelyn Mack Academy. Hicks trying to go to work against Whalen. He's no good. Miller tries to muscle it in there. Whalen with the rebound gets it to Malik Lou Mitchell. We talked about Hicks being due for an above-the-rim play there in that first half. Malik Lou Mitchell is due as well as Paris tries to get that one to go from the corner in and out. 13-point game. Crucial stretch right here.
Good lay, Bowden.
Jordan Bowden.
I see the last three possessions. Evelyn Mack's had the opportunities to make a run.
Yep. In need of a stop here as they had cut it down to 13. It's back at 15 now after that Jordan Bowden layup. Campbell will get it back to Hunter. Hunter turning the corner, floats it up, no good. Whalen with it now. Fold, can he get his first three-pointer of the second half? No good. Kwame Nelson with the offensive rebound. Tough right there. You had Damari Paris wide open at the three-point line. He went to reverse it, but there was a defender right there waiting on him.
No.
That's just weight room move there. That wasn't a ticky-tack foul.
No, it wasn't.
Got him with the chest, came down with the arms and fouled him, but you can see that weight room off in the distance here at the Imagine Center. And it's safe to say Darius Hicks has put in a few reps there.
Smooth touch on the free throw there by Hicks.
Evelyn Mack had cut it down to 13. Has the door closed in terms of being able to make that run with enough time to get the stops and the scores you need to close the gap. We shall see. We approach the 10-minute mark. Advantage is now 18 for 22 feet. Whalen tried to thread the needle to get it inside the Nelson. Nelson had it poked away initially.
Good pass. Good eye.
In that first matchup, The come from behind victory for Evelyn Mack. Coach Primus joked with Malik Lou Mitchell about waiting so long to try to turn it on. And I'm sure he would have rather him have a better first half, but if he can turn it on here, he'll take that explosion or that outburst just the same.
Yeah.
We'll see if he uses that assist to try and get going.
You know, some players need just that one thing to get them going.
Tucker Campbell called for the travel. You see Malik Lou Mitchell here. Doesn't force it. You know, he's trying to get going with the shot, but he sees a chance to kind of lull the defense to sleep, looks him off, drops the dime, finished inside by Kamara Fold. There via the Denny's instant replay.
You know, missed opportunities. A lot of them. A lot of missed opportunities.
You could tell Coach Schmidt there for 22 feet knows the type of surge and run that Evelyn Mack Academy is capable of, not resting on their laurels by any means. I don't think he sat this entire game. Stolen on one end, and Malik Lou Mitchell will head to the free throw line.
Trying to cut into this lead. Need to make positive trips. Positive trips on the offense and defensive side.
Lou Mitchell averaging 13 points per game, 6 assists. We've seen a couple dimes, but they're going to need more in both of those categories. We take a timeout. We'll see how Evelyn Mack does over the next 8:57, 22 feet, leading.
9 seconds inbound pass to Marbury. As he works on the defense of Johnson, dribbles by Robinson, takes it to the baseline, running jump shot, good! 2 seconds left.
Eight minutes, 57 seconds remaining here in the ball game. Lead now a 16-point advantage. 4:22 feet, Malik Lou Mitchell at the free throw line. Talked about the slim margin for error for Evelyn Mack, having to have productive possessions. Free throw line, a big part of that. Free throw line almost better. I mean, you'll take the points however you can get them, but for Coach Greg Primus and his squad, almost better than scoring just within the natural flow, because you get a chance to score with no time running off the clock.
Exactly right. Exactly right. You know, that's one of the things you have to do if you're Evelyn Mack. You want to try to get 3, but you want to get some penetration, try to get to that free throw line. And right here with the full court by De La Rosa, that's what you have to do. Get them out of sort.
Yeah.
He's a pest right now.
You got Wright trying to work against Ziegler there. Loses it out of bounds. Evelyn Mack Academy also playing one out their class of 2018. Sensational sophomore Jaquel Goss. Got a hyperextended elbow that's keeping him out of tonight's action. De La Rosa, Hunter was all over that pass. They'll push. Hunter tries to take it himself, has it blocked. Lou Mitchell.
Oh.
De La Rosa was going up for the layup.
2 missed opportunities back to back. You want to get in striking distance at the 7-minute mark. You want to be at least at, in striking distance. Get to that 10-point or that single-digit point. They had the opportunities there.
You can see one Wolf guarding another there in De La Rosa and Hunter. Hunter has it blocked. And Ziegler unable to keep it in bounds.
I like the fight in Evelyn Mack right now, though.
Yeah.
They're not letting this game get, they're not giving up. They want to get back in this game.
Right, called for the travel. This Evelyn Mack defense has been hot and hazy with no signs of letting up over the next few minutes. Over the past few minutes, I should say, but in need of a bucket here to try to cut this 14-point gap down. That turnover not going to help the cause.
You're absolutely right about that. You know, unforced turnovers at that.
Miller tries the jumper.
Now, if I'm 22 feet, that's not the shot I want.
Yeah, and you have to attack now because they haven't gotten the shot that they want in the past few possessions. When you look at it, you've had Hunter, who's done a good job of setting the table, but he's kind of over-penetrated over the past few times and has gotten a few shots blocked. You have Miller taking that three. You had Eli Wright call for the travel, a possession ago. So defensively, I think you're getting what you want to happen if you're Coach Greg Primus. You just haven't been able to sandwich those stops with enough buckets.
Exactly. For 22 feet, they need to get back to what they know. They need to get back inside.
De La Rosa trying to be opportunistic, like how he's trying to create turnovers. Eli Wright wheeling, dealing inside, no good, trying to save it. Evelyn Mack Academy does so successfully. De La Rosa fakes the pass to Ziegler. C.D. Cada uses that long wingspan to smack it off the glass. Bowden to Miller. Miller. Miller handed that basketball off to King White. White says, no, you can keep it, Chief.
You know, De La Rosa, he should have gave that ball up just a while ago. Went down with the trees. 3-on-2 break.
Miller good at the free throw line. De La Rosa and Malik Lou Mitchell are going to get a breather, checking in Kwame Nelson and Damari Paris. Their marching orders right here. Paris has to do what he does. He has a great feel for the game in terms of knowing when to pick his spots and score, but also make plays for others. Also, if we're talking, you know, NBA Live/video game, he has a great clutch rating. He'll need it here in the final 6 minutes, 55 seconds. Kwame Nelson has to be able to finish, but he has to eat glass over the next few minutes. A very big body, hard to keep him off of the glass on both ends. He's going to have to really take that, to heart over the next few minutes.
He's going to have to be that garbage man.
Yeah. He's got to be rocked for the next few minutes. Ziegler can't get the shot to go. Ball tipped. But Eli Wright pulls it in. Now gets it over to Hunter. Hunter going to try a three-pointer.
Hunter, you know, he's been hesitating with that three-pointer all day. Pump fake here, pump fake there.
Because you know what? The past few times I went in, I've done a good job of getting to the rack, but, you know, guys have been kind of playing Klinko with him inside, knocking it off the glass and all of that. So cool. I'll just stay out here, splash this three there via the Denny's instant replay. And, you know, it just seems like the mantra of this game over the past few minutes has been so close yet so far for Evelyn Mack Academy. They get it to around 14, get it to around 13, and just have trouble being able to complement those stops with buckets. And 22 feet has always been able to respond, even if they've had different droughts at certain points throughout the game. They've never let it really go too long without being able to get a bucket here by Bowden on Eli Wright finish. Tristan Hunter taking on that role as well there with that last triple. Bowden leaves no question there.
That's where you break a press, you know. Got kind of hectic right here at the half-court line, but was able to keep the eyes up and find the man.
How you make it tough because you have to expel so much energy. As the travel is called there, you have to expel so much energy to extend the pressure, try to be opportunistic and get turnovers. And 22 feet can just pin their ears back. Advance the ball with passes instead of trying to dribble through it. And then you got Jordan Bowden finishing there, pushing the lead back to 19. All right, still in attack mode. He wanted the and one, not going to get the call. But we'll get a 21-point advantage right back. Comes number 20, Akeem White.
Looking at the coach from 22 feet, he's wondering. Can't get no calls on the other end.
As you see him referencing that exact point. Pointing over there. Lobbying for the fact that Eli didn't get that call. Akeem White gets it on the other end, but I'd say for the most part the officials have done a good job calling this one. Maybe missed a few or called a few that shouldn't have been called on both sides, but it's been pretty consistent.
Yep. 25's fouled out. 5 fouls.
CDK, the fouls out. Can't take them home with you. Paris can't get that shot to go. Baby jumper that he normally can knock down in his sleep. It's been that kind of night for Evelyn Mack Academy. No lack of effort, but the efficiency and production hasn't been there so far. They're down by 19 as Hicks is going to try a jumper. That one way off the mark. Bowden, offensive rebound. Luckily for Evelyn Mack, he can't get it to go.
Didn't know where he was at.
Approaching the 5-minute mark. Ziegler out to Paris. Paris for 3. Have a foul called on the play against Darius Hicks.
Like I say, it's a 19-point game. These free throws right here, they have to make the free throws.
They are mandatory. 19 fouls against 22 feet, so if you are Evelyn Mack, you get fouled. Free throws aren't a question.
Yes, sir.
It's just a matter of the 1-and-1, and then after this, on the next foul, it'll be a bonus situation, so they'll get 2 regardless. Just 16 fouls against the Wildcats. $17-point gap. Christian Hunter being harassed by Damari Paris finds a way to break 3 and lays it in.
Well, Hunter's just a very solid player, Steady. Not flashy at all, but just.
Not a player that you're going to see try to do too much.
Very steady with this game. But like you said earlier, he takes pride in that defense side of the ball, though.
Sprite fouls. Damari Paris sends him to the line. Wright trying to play defense there. Maybe got a little too overzealous. Instead of making Evelyn Mack Academy continue to work there on the offensive end. You don't want to foul there that far away from the basket. You stop the clock. You give Damari Paris a chance to see a couple free throws go through when they haven't really let him get going so far here in this game. The same Damari Paris that averages 22 points a game along with 7 assists. Meanwhile, hey, Bowden said, man, I don't got to force it, but when I get an opportunity, I have no problem finishing. As he gets a monster jam from the other side. That 3-pointer's off. Whalen has it knocked away by Remy. Pass ahead to Bowden. He'll do the windmill. Why not?
Why not?
Because now you're starting to see some of that. You really got the feeling that coming into this game for 22 feet, as Coach Greg Primus is going to get a timeout. For 22 feet, it wasn't just about just getting the W.
Yeah.
It had to be something a little emphatic. Something that says we didn't forget about the tip-off classic. Things have tipped off here, and Jordan Bowden with the windmill. I see you.
Just about the time in the first half that the defense turned up to 100. If you're Evelyn Mack, you got to remember that.
Yeah.
You got to remember that. You got to be smart with the ball. You got to control the ball. And you just have to try to play through this. It's going to be an onslaught come down.
So we've got 4 minutes, 4 seconds remaining in this one, so not mathematically impossible for a comeback, but I think it's at this point in the game to where it's not only going to take Evelyn and Mack helping themselves, it's going to take a little bit of help from 22 Feet Academy in terms of turning the ball over, not knocking down free throws, going away from what's gotten them at this point. Obviously, to be a team, you like to be able to control your own destiny a little bit more. A more manageable deficit gives you a chance to do that. With them being down 21 points, they're going to need a little bit of help from 22 feet, but nothing like intense defensive pressure, puts that other team in a position to help you. So we will see how Evelyn Mack can come out and try to finish on not just a strong note, an incredible note to try to get back into this one. They have a wide open layup off the inbounds. Quamaine Nelson, he misses that one and he works hard. That was one of them, man. I don't even want to look at my teammates if I let that ball go to the other side without being able to score it after missing that bunny.
You're exactly right about that.
That's the Quamaine Nelson they got to have. Not necessarily the guy that missed that first layup, but the guy that goes after it with the tenacity he went after it with initially. 29-point game, and Hunter.
Steady hand.
He's been there when 22 feet has needed him throughout this game. He gets it to 22. Quamaine Nelson.
That's the kind of plays they need right here with Evelyn Mack, but you can't trade buckets. You can't trade buckets. You got to make stops.
I was kind of looking at that shot like, man, you're up. Does Bowden really have to take that shot? I mean, run a little bit of clock, but for what? Bowden knocks it down. You're 22 feet. You've been afforded that luxury to be up, and now Eli Wright. I guess why not? They've got about 4 replacement rims here along the wall at the Imagine Center, so why take it easy on the rim? Quamaine Nelson attacks.
I think it's about to start to be checker picking season.
Yeah. We've seen teams that kind of have the game at hand and how, they can kind of go out with style points and just extra emphasis. We talk about that Chick-fil-A Classic coverage where Blythewood had played a great game against Oak Hill. They really kind of took it to them. And then things got a little out of hand and got a little disrespectful.
Very disrespectful.
It was a oop here, a dunk there, off the glass. I think Braxton Key caught a tip dunk and sat on the guy's neck.
Yes, he did. Hit the Twitterverse. Yes, it did. But kind of off subject again. That kind of opened up the eyes of Blythewood. They've been playing pretty strong lately.
And that's what a season is supposed to do. You look at that loss that Evelyn Mack handed 22 feet earlier in that season. It was takeaways that they had from that they were able to build on. As we just see Eli Wright just pulling out all the tricks. We're going to have a timeout, but that's exactly what losses are supposed to do. I mean, you can't bury your head in them, but you use a way to fuel off of, to feed off of them.
Yes,
and I'd say 22 feet has had plenty of fuel and gas in the tank here in this one.
You're exactly right. Just got out of hand, right at that 4-minute mark of the first half. Got out of hand there. They turned that defensive pressure up, and they haven't looked back.
I got to be honest, I just got so caught up in the back and forth, didn't realize that 22 Feet Academy had just put up a C note.
Yes, sir. Lit up the scoreboard. We're going to use all digits.
It's what good teams do. Good teams are able to take that loss and even though you want to be able to focus on the things you need to do to go 1-0 each game, nobody forgets certain L's.
Oh yeah.
22 Feet didn't forget that L. They come and they return the favor. You're going to see a strong team and a strong program like Evelyn Mack be able to take this, move forward, and probably take it out on a few other teams.
You're right. You're exactly right. I don't know Evelyn Mack's schedule, but I want to know who they play next.
Yeah.
Hope they bring the lunch bucket.
All right. Red Sea parts for Hunter. Ziegler loses the handle. The reverse won't go. It's just been that type of night. Ziegler working hard, trying to get there. And, all right. Okay, Eli.
Yeah, he has a good highlight reel going now.
As we are under the final minute mark. Approaching the final 30 seconds. These Coach Greg Premis and Coach Schmidt from 22 Feet Academy have been on the same side in terms of being on the same coaching staff before. It was Coach Premis that made 22 Feet Academy take one on the chin earlier in the season, and Coach Schmidt and his program coming back and evening up the score here in this one. So that is going to do it. Appreciate you joining us here in Greenville, and so did Eli Wright. He's just been a little tied up, dunking things left and right. This is Marcus Burnett with Anton Bennett signing off from the Imagine Center here in Greenville, South Carolina.